I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review of the RedRock 4x4 light bar fitting all 2007 to 2016 JKs. This light bar is available in the textured black powder coat finish that you see here, and it's also available in a gloss black and a polished stainless finish. These days, when you hear the term light bar, you may think of an LED light bar. This is a little bit more of an old school interpretation of a light bar. This bar will go over the windshield of the Jeep and has 4 different mounting brackets for you to put 4 different lights on it. The benefit of having 4 different lights is that you can have different lights with different beam patterns, and you can aim them in different locations, as well as being able to switch them independently. So there are a couple of benefits of running a setup like this. However, it does have a little bit more of that old school look, so it has to be something that goes with your build and something you're interested in. This light bar is a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones on the market, but it does have a little bit more detail to it, which makes it look a little bit nicer in my opinion. This light bar is built from 2-inch stainless steel tubing, which means that even if you were to get a little bit of a nick or a scratch in the finish, it's not going to rust like a mild steel would. Stainless steel will corrode, but you won't have a rusting issue. This bar is designed to be completely bolt-on. It just uses the factory windshield hinges and actually the factory hardware, so installation becomes really easy without the need to drill anything, so you're not making any permanent modifications to the Jeep. Something that's really nice about this bar is it actually has a hole drilled in it by each one of the light mount tabs. That allows you to run your wiring internal of the light bar and make your wiring really clean. You will have to figure out how the wires get out of the light bar at the bottom, and of course how they get into the Jeep to get power and switch, but these pre-drilled holes make it really nice. As I mentioned before, this light bar does have a little bit more detail than some of the other ones on the market, and that's right up here in these gussets. They have some holes drilled in them. This is not a strength product. It's not a product that's holding a lot of weight, so the gussets are not going to be functional. But again, they add a little bit of style and make this a little bit unique compared to some of the other light bars on the market. Like I said before, this bar is designed to be completely bolt-on, so the installation is pretty simple. If you take a look at the instructions, they recommend putting some tape on the painted surfaces of the Jeep right around the windshield hinge, because these bars can be a little bit cumbersome to get installed and you don't want to scratch your factory paint. The first step in the installation is to remove the 4 bolts that are holding the windshield hinge onto the Jeep. When you do that, the windshield hinge cover is going to want to fall right off onto the ground. So again, you're going to want to hold that in place, or if you have tape in that area, it'll help to hold the part in place. Once those bolts are removed, you can start with one of the sidebars, bolting it into place loosely. After that, you'll install the crossbar that will bolt right onto that sidebar, and finally the other sidebar, which again installs right onto that windshield hinge in much the same way as the first side. Once everything's installed, you can tighten up all of the bolts and get on to installing your lights. Like I said before, this has 4 different light mount tabs, so you can really use any light that is designed to mount on a traditional single post mount. However, do check and make sure that the studs on the light are not too long. If they are, they can make contact with the top of the windshield and scratch the paint there. If they're a little bit too long, they can always be trimmed, so it's not a huge deal. After that, it just comes down to wiring. You'll be able to run the wires inside this light bar. However, when you get to the bottom, you'll have to figure out a way to get from the light bar into the engine bay to pick up power and into the cab for switching. The bar itself shouldn't take you more than an hour to install, but depending on the lights you're installing and how you decide to wire them, that time will vary. And you won't need any specialty tools to get this installed, but a good set of Torx bits will definitely come in handy. There are a lot of light bars of this style on the market, and most of them are right around the same price, this one included. This one is a few dollars more than some of the other ones, but that's something I would expect because it has a little bit more material with these gussets in place, and it does have a little bit of style where some of the other ones are more plain. So again, it comes down to your build and the style you're looking for, but if I were to run a light bar like this, I personally like this little bit of detail. So if you like the old school look of one of these types of light bars, or you want the benefit of running 4 different lights with different beam patterns, or switched independently, or just aimed in different spots, this is a really nice option. It may be a couple of dollars more than some of the other ones on the market, but in my opinion, it's worth it for the additional detail. So that's my review of the RedRock 4x4 light bar fitting all 2007 to 2016 JKs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.